how to connect the VIA to the network, and later I will show you the interface of the application and the interface to manage the settings of VIA. So let's move on with the presentation. The new interface of VIA is basically the new overlay of the VIA app. You can see the layout was changed. There was some options added, and the quality was improved for the performance of the application itself. As you can see, VIA has a high level of security. It's secured by the network protocols. It is really important for most of the companies to have their devices connected to the network to be secured. So we have a lot of installations in the banks, in the corporations that have the high security policy, and the VIA actually works there. It meets the requirements about the specifications of the security. Next, we can move on to the convenient connection to the system. We can, if we want to connect wirelessly by the VIA, we can use native methods for the Mac, like AirPlay, or for the Android and Windows to use the Miracast. Extensive collaboration features requires application connection. So if you want to use the additional features, not only present the screen, you need to install the application. Application is available on Kramer website. For iOS, it's in the App Store. For Android, it's in the Play Market, and you can download it for free. We have additional moderation features in the VIA. I will show them later. Now we will go through the overview of the VIA family products. As you can see, you can see the key differences between each model. It is important to know this because it depends what are your requirements for VIA. The standard VIA GO² model doesn't have collaboration features. As you can see, the standard model is just to use it when we want to share the screen wirelessly. And we have some additional features, but it's only one-way connection. Like we are streaming to VIA, we don't have anything back from VIA GO². Next, moving on, the next model is Connect². With Connect², we can start to have a possibility to use collaboration features and remote access to the web video conferencing, which is crucial for most of the clients, which is a crucial difference between VIA GO² and VIA Connect², that you can have the peripherals also wirelessly connected to your laptop. Next, moving on, VIA Campus². The key difference between Campus and Go and Connect is that Campus is a Windows-based system. As you can see, Go and Connect is Linux, are running through the Linux, and Campus is with the Windows, which gives us the opportunity to install any third-party app which we want to use. On the Go and Connect², we can use third-party apps only in the web browser versions. So we just provide the link to, for example, for Teams, for Zoom, and it will open us the web version of the application. On Campus, we can install the physical version, the desktop version of the application, and use all the full features that the application provides. What's next? What are the differences in the VIA family. The number of the users that we can present at one time. So as you see, Go, it's 2 users at the same time. So the display which VIA is connected will split by 2, and on both sides you can see one screen. For Connect, we can have a quad display, so for users at one time. And for Campus, as you can see, we have 2 outputs for 2 displays. We can split it by 2, and on each display we can have 6 users. So in total, that gives us 12 participants at one time displaying their content. And everything that Go has, other models also support. So like calendar integration, which I will show you later. The digital signage player, which is also not mentioned here. Each model has it. We can use the VIA as a digital signage player when it's not used, so no one is presenting, the space is not used. The VIA can display some DS content. Let's move on. VIA connection diagram. To connect VIA, the best practice is to connect VIA to the Ethernet, to the local area network by the Ethernet cable. We need to connect the VIA through HDMI to some display. It can be projector, it can be standard monitor. And later, by our laptops, our mobile phones, we can connect to VIA wirelessly using the existing network. This is the standard application for VIA. Also, one more thing that VIA can do is to integrate with the local area network of the, for example, the corporate, and share its own hotspot. So let's say we will install the VIA in the company. All the employees will use their local area network access, and for example, if a guest will come, he can connect to the VIA access point. The access point will get the Ethernet from the internet access from the local area network, and he will not have any access to to other devices, only internet, nothing else. So it's convenient for the corporations that it's secured, so the guests can connect with VIA, can have internet access, but he won't be able to connect with their network. VIA features, the new features, the added features that was added mostly in the 4.0 version. Some of them were also in the previous ones, but they were improved, are the guest connections, VIA broadcast, whiteboard support, view main display function, adding notes, moderation, do not disturb feature, web browser access, and managing a remote PC. I will cover all those features when we will get to the application right in a moment. So that's it about the presentation. I will now share my screen to show you how VIA works, how looks the presentation. Okay, I will hide my desk. Sorry. Okay, let's go. I'm using a Mac system, so it may look different for you, but the application itself looks the same on Windows and on the Mac OS. So as you can see, I am opening the application. Right now, the application is looking for VIAs in the IP network, in my local area network. So if I will have few VIAs connected to my network, they will be displayed here as free or maybe occupied by some other users because they are using it. So as you see, right now I'm using Campus2, which is free, no one is connected right now. And the other feature is we can switch back to Wi-Fi. So if VIA is is active as an access point, we can find the access point that VIA is sharing, and it will be displayed here. Just click it and we will be automatically connected to its hotspot without pressing the password and finding the network, etc. So let's move back to the IP. We can also change the auto connection. Yes. So for example, if we will open the application, we can just turn on the last connected option. So each time we'll open the application, it will automatically reconnect us to the last connected model or most used. So if we have few VIAs and we use mostly one, then we can use this option. To cover everything else, we can change the language here. Yes, so there are various languages available in the VIA application and the VIA itself. I will move back to the English so you will see everything clear. And let's connect with VIA. The room code. VIA is displaying the room code on the screen. Hold on a second, I will open. I will open the application for you. I will start the camera so you can see so you can see the screen which VIA is connected to. Okay, so this is the new version of the application. That's how it looks. And let's move on through the options that we have here. The screen. As you can see, I'm using Campus, so this option is available here. The screen 1, and if I would have a second screen connected to Campus, there will be an option to change it for the second screen. So I can choose on which screen I would like to present, first or the second one. If we will not choose, we can set the VIA automatically to discover the users, and it will go in the order. So first user will go to the first screen, second user to the second, third user to the first screen, and it goes on up to 12 users. Now, as you can see, we can just press the big green button to share. And my app will be gone. And on the camera, you should be able to see that I am right now presenting my screen. You see that is the sharing of my screen on the monitor. And here we can pause the sharing, so we will be not disconnected. We just want to pause this to check something, so the other participants in the meeting will not see it. Here we can here as a moderator, because VIA has a moderation feature, we can remove others or don't allow them to present freely at this time. So if I will click it. Right now, I am the only one connected, so there's no one to remove. But if I will click it, this is the do not disturb function. No one will be able to connect to VIA, because right now, if there is a meeting in a conference room, for example, few people will come. Everyone sees how to connect to VIA. They see the IP address, they see the room code, and to not disturb the presenter, we can just click it, and no one else will be able to connect to VIA. Next, moving on, the allow remote control on your device. This function is this works some kind of like I don't know, TeamViewer, AnyDesk. If you are familiar with this kind of software, it just gives us remote access for other users to their PCs. Yes, so we need to start as a presenter or as a regular participant. We need to start the collaboration feature. Click to collaborate on the collaboration on the application, and then other user, for example, want to work on our PC. So the other user clicks this, and by his cursor, he can move on to the other display. Whiteboard function is it will just open the whiteboard on the VIA, and if I want to use it, I can just move on through on the VIA screen. I need to find my cursor. Sorry, but it's always I can find where to go through it. And for example, if we will have the remote touch for the the touch display, we can just click on the whiteboard and mark some things on the presentation, just to extend the collaboration feature on the meeting. Yes, so it's not just presenting. We can actively use the whiteboard to mark all the concerns or all the additional info on the presentation on the live meeting. So we don't want to save. So next functionality is the view main display. I can't use it right now because I am the presenter, but other participant which will be connected to VIA can use this function to view the presentation that is presented on the main display on his laptop, on his device, on his phone, on his laptop using the application. So he just clicks this and he sees on his screen everything that is presented on the main display. This feature is especially useful on the aulas in the education market, for example, on the universities. So the screen is sometimes the screen is not visible for everyone. Like, for example, some participants are sitting behind some column and they don't have a clear view on the main display. They can just use this and see everything that is presented on the screen. Moving on to next feature, you can see here room devices available. This means that you have active VIA Versa driver installed on your PC. So I have it, but someone who connects first time, there will be a communicate to install this. It's just one click and it will be automatically installed on your PC. That gives you a remote access to all the cameras, speakers, microphones, all the peripherals for the video conferencing, which will be connected to the VIA. So again, I don't need to have an USB cable on my desk. I just need to connect everything to VIA, connect to VIA by the application, and I can have the access to the peripherals. It just looks like this, that I will open, for example, a Zoom application. I will open any meeting, it doesn't matter right now. You can see the camera I'm using for the sharing of the screen, but here we can change it to the VIA Versa camera. Right now, I have only one camera in my at the moment, so I'm using it to share the screen through my laptop. But if I will connect the same camera to the VIA, I can use the VIA Versa driver, and it will be visible here. Okay, moving on through the application and their functions. As you can see, we have the participants list, who's right now connected to VIA, not necessarily presenting, but just connected. If someone is connected, he can use some of the features and collaborate with some additional functions that I mentioned before. The chat function, everyone can chat with each other. All the connected users can send the messages, can send the attachments, like for the file sharing between each other. So it's not necessary on the meeting to use the email. You can just connect to VIA and share it to everyone. files. VIA has 128 gigabit storage, so you can just store some files directly on VIA, and everyone who's connected to VIA can have access to it, or maybe someone will want to remove the access for the participants so no one will see it. We can also do it. And for the campus, the unique option is to record the whole meeting. So we can just start recording, and everything that is displayed on VIA will be recorded and stored on the internal disk. So it's everything. It's the audio. If, for example, for campus, we can connect the microphone, so the speaker will be recorded also with the screen sharing. And later we can just share the record with the others. As I mentioned, this is the unique function for Campus2 model. Go and Connect doesn't support this. And for the overview of the application, I think that's mostly it. We can move to the interface of the VIA. So to manage all the settings that VIA has, it's easy because we just need to type the IP address of the VIA that's displayed on the display. As you can see on the, sorry, I will just switch to the camera for a second so you can see it. Sorry for the poor quality of the camera, but I hope you see it. Here is the IP address for the VIA. In the upper corner, you have the room name and the code, which is necessary to connect with VIA. So we just need to know the IP address and type it in the browser. So we are here, and what we can do, we have the join through browser option. Sorry, I will change to English. Join through browser option. So it's additional way to connect with VIA. So we don't need for example, we can't install the application because of the, I don't know, company policy. We don't have full access to all the functions of our laptop. We can't install third-party software. We can everybody has a web browser. So supported is Chrome, Firefox, and Edge. Edge is pre-installed on every Windows laptop, so it's okay. We can connect with VIA. We can use the join through browser function. So we just click it. We need to add the username. The IP address is already filled because we reached the site. We just need to click the join. We need to wait a second because the join through browser function works through the cloud. So we need the active internet connection on VIA to make it work. So the VIA is connected to the cloud. It streams to the cloud, and we get the support back from cloud. So sometimes if the internet connection is poor, it works not as expected, but unfortunately, that is the feature. A second, I will refresh because something is wrong. Okay, sorry. I am connected by the application, so I will close it. That's why it won't allow me to join. Okay, I will change the nickname. Okay, I need to just type the room code that is displayed on the monitor. Join. And here is our interface from the join through browser. We don't have full access for all the features like we do using the application, but most of them are visible here, like whiteboard, collaboration mode, view main display. We can even start the recording. Main difference is that when we are using the join through browser, we can't connect to the peripherals. The VIA Versa feature is available only using app. So that is the key difference. And right now we just need to share. We need to choose what we want to share, the whole screen of our laptop, only a specific window, or even the specific tab in Chrome. So we just choose it, click share, and I hope you can see it on the display. I am sharing the screen, what I have on my laptop. So let's stop. Let's move back to the VIA settings. This is the VIA room device, VIA Versa driver, which is required for the VIA Versa feature. We can download it also from here. We can run VIA application. We can install VIA application. So each time, if you will connect, first time if you will connect to VIA, you can just click it, and it will just download the exe file for your system and install the VIA application. But later, moving on, we need to manage the gateway settings. So we need to log in as an administrator. Every time it is, as a default, it is SU as a super user, and the password is SU pass. So super user pass. We can also disable it later. I pressed something wrong. Okay, so this is our dashboard for the VIA settings. We can see all the basic informations about the VIA, what's the network settings, current version, what hardware do we using right now on the VIA campus, for example, because by the years the revisions and hardware were changed, but the software remained the same. So it's sometimes for me as a technical support, it's crucial to know which hardware version do you use, and later we can dig up with some problems if you have. System uptime, how long the VIA is working right now, available space, all the basic informations, and about the audio, for example, which we are using right now. So let's move on to the device management. First is the network settings. So we can address the VIA for the static IP, or we can use standard DHCP reservation. Later, moving on to Wi-Fi, we can turn it on, and we can choose if we want to use as an access point mode. So we just need to name our access point, create a password for it, or we want to use VIA as a client mode. So in some installations, there is no LAN cable available on site. So our only option is to connect VIA directly by Wi-Fi to the network. So we can use the client mode. We can just connect to provide the credentials for the network. We need to know the network, we need to know the password, and we can use VIA as a client mode. I won't use it right now because it requires restart, but the method is basically similar to the access point mode. VIA path configuration. VIA, you can always add the VIA path to the VIA family products. It's an additional accessory, like a physical button to use with VIA, but it doesn't work like most people would expect. Still, we need to use the application. Still, we need to use the connected application, and then application will discover that we have a VIA pad connected, and we don't need to use app later directly on our laptop. We just click on the VIA pad. So the configuration here is for the guests, for the if we don't want to use the room code, if we had the VIA pad, we can skip this function. And we can also add the credentials for our network to be connected with VIA pad. So each time you click it, insert it to your PC, it will automatically connect you with the desired network. Site management settings are for the VIA site management, the VSM. This is the software This is the cloud-based software that allows us to manage many VIAs in the installations. For example, we have one VIA on site, so it's not necessarily useful for us, because still we want to just connect with one VIA and configure it. But if we will have 100 VIAs to configure each one by one, it will waste too much time. So for this purpose, we have the VIA site management. So you create one template, for example, for all VIAs. The VIA site management discovers in the network what models and how many VIAs are connected, and we can push the update for every VIA at one time. The screen editor. We can change the layout of the screen, which is displayed on VIA at the start. So we don't need to use the default one. We can create our screen layout. So we can use the custom graphics. We can add here anything we want, the logos of the company or anything else that we want to use. It will be visible here if we will add it. So we just need to drag and drop it here. Sorry, because something is here, the room code. So the room code, we just need to drag and drop all the functions that we want to use. So we want to have it custom, so we don't want it there, we want it here. Everything is customizable by drag and drop. And also here we can add the calendar function. So VIA can work as let's say some kind of reservation system. Yeah, so if we will have the calendar connected to our VIA, for example, the Google one or Office, you can see the three possible options. We can create just for the specific room the calendar and invite this account for meetings. So VIA will display all the meetings that are planned in this specific room, and it will show everyone that comes in the room that there is a meeting, for example, at in 1 hour or at specific hour. We can set the timer for the calendar, so it will give us the timer for how much the space is still available, and we can add another timer that this is for how much the space is available, and this timer will be displayed by we can specify how much time before the meeting. So, for example, I'm running the meeting right now, but in 15 minutes there is another meeting. So VIA can remind us to display this window on the screen, even during the presentation, that in 15 minutes there will be another meeting running here. So it's pretty convenient for us for the users if the space is occupied. Okay, moving on, this is the VIA settings tab. It works as a template. There we have always a default template predefined by Kramer, and we can copy this default and edit it and create our own. So here is the interface for the integrators, for the admins to manage all the VIA settings. So as you can see, we can rename all the functions. If we want to have an active system lock, block or add some functions, etc. We can move to the presentation because this is the most crucial for us, how we want to use VIA. We can rename the mirror name for the iOS, so the Mac devices and the iPhones will discover the VIA by the name, and we can choose how many participants can be connected. 4 is the maximum for Connect and 12 for the campus, which we are using right now. We can add or disable the functions. If we don't want to use join through browser, we can just disable it. We can disable all the functions that we saw before to be not displayed. The MiriaCast, if we want to enable it, we need to remember that if we are using the Wi-Fi, we can't use MiriaCast simultaneously. It's the same network card that uses MiriaCast and Wi-Fi. So if we are using the access point, we can't use MiriaCast. If we are using MiriaCast, we can't use access point. If we want to use both, then it's required to buy additional VIAcast. It's a simple dongle by USB connected to VIA, which gives us additional network card to use simultaneously both functions. We can define which codec we would like to use for sharing. By default, it's auto because it automatically discovers the bandwidth quality, the bandwidth ratio in our network, and it will adjust the codecs to the possibilities that network gave us. What is our bandwidth for it? And later the settings for the dual displays, like where we want to use the VIA, the primary screen or the secondary, if we want to use the conferencing mode, everything is described here, what specific options do. Do not disturb, this is the function I mentioned earlier to use when we don't want anyone to disturb us during the presentation. So we can allow it or disable it. It depends always on the needs of the specific application. And the new feature which VIA 4.0 gave us is the auto disconnection. We had a few requests from the clients that they like VIA in general, but they were concerned that what happens if someone will share the screen and just go out from the room and don't stop to share the screen. Yeah, so what will happen? Right now, VIA offers the auto disconnection function, which works for the proximity that VIA is sharing all over the room. And if we'll discover that we are moving away from VIA for a specific distance, which is described by the RSSI units, it will just try to reconnect, and after 3 attempts of failure, it will automatically disconnect the user that is away from VIA. That is the one of the functions that was added in the 4.0 functionality. Power, we can set the power auto power off or even auto reboot for a daily schedule. Date and time, this is the standard. Those are the standard features. End of the meetings. The whiteboard file sharing, we can restrict only for selected files, so the users won't be able to use the specific formats, only the selected ones. Moderator mode, so we can define here how the moderator will work. and what will be the base settings for it. The display we can use for this is the specific function for the campus. If how we want to lay out the display from the participants, how the specific windows for the new users will be displayed on the layout. Audio, and so which inputs and outputs, if are connected, we want to use. Nothing special. Security, this is for the administrator locally, so the web session timeout. So the session, for example, I am now connected, and after 2 hours automatically it will disconnect me, because there will be no longer meetings in this room like for 2 hours, and this is the additional auto disconnect feature for this room. CAPTCHA if we want to use it or remove it, and the password policy. Certificates. If we have any network certificates for VIA to, for example, for the HTTPS certification, so this address will be secured. So we won't have to every time click that the link is secure. We can add the certification here to skip some steps during the first login. NTP, so we can connect the VIA to NTP server. Recording and streaming. This is the setting for those specific functions. For example, VIA can stream everything that is displayed on the monitor to any receiver, like for example to YouTube, to Twitch, or maybe to other company. We just need to set the broadcast, paste the proper address here, and that's it. And we can define which functions will be displayed for the users. So if we don't want the participants to use the third-party app, the file transfer, etc., we can just turn it off, and it won't be visible in the application in this specific VIA if the client will be connected. Okay, moving on. We get through the VIA settings and the calendar feature. This is the place where we need to provide the credentials for the VIA itself. So we need to choose the type of calendar which we want to use. And go through all the steps to connect the calendar with the Google, for example, the Google Calendar. Recording. This is the recording list of all the records that we made during the sessions. Digital signage function, which I mentioned earlier. The digital signage allows us to create content to run on the whole campaign, schedule it, and run it for the display. All the reports, those are actually logs, what happens to VIA, so it's only for admins to check who was logged in, who presented, etc. And the utility is just to update the firmware, and maintenance if you want to factory reset the whole VIA. So basically that was it for all the VIA settings and all the other functions. If you have any questions, if you have any other, I don't know, maybe demo request, if you have some concerns about VIA, some, I don't know, questions, you can add it here, or you can just write an email to me. I will try to respond or maybe if someone requires more specific training about the VIA and to go through all the functions inside our office or remotely, we can also schedule it too. So right now I'm waiting for the questions, if you have any. We have a question. What about firmware latest version? The latest version for VIA is 4.03, but we are waiting right now for the hotfix for this version because there were some bugs for the VIA application. Right now, I recommend to use the version. I will type it here. The This is the version which we worked today on. This is the stable version. It works fine. The next release is 4.03, and right now I don't recommend to update it. If you already updated to VIA 4.3 and you have any problems, unfortunately, to downgrade the VIA, you need to send it to me. I will need to flash the whole software. Okay, so if there's no other questions, thank you for the participation. And in case if there are other questions, just you can see my email. You can write to me directly. I'll try to answer. Okay, thank you everyone. Have a nice day and see you on our next webinars. Goodbye.